Hello, how's it going? This is Priceline's terms of use. Are they fair and enforceable? Hey everyone, this is Charlton, and in this presentation, I'll be walking through an evaluation of Priceline.com's terms of use, specifically sections A through F. We'll break down whether this agreement is a valid contract, what it means for users, and how it could be improved. Let's start with, is it a valid contract? Priceline presents its terms of use as binding by simply using the site, which makes this a browse wrap agreement. That's where things get tricky. According to Eric Goldman, browse wraps are often problematic because users aren't explicitly agreeing to anything, they're just passively visiting or interacting with the site. Unless Priceline can prove that users had clear notice and an opportunity to review the terms, it's questionable whether this would hold up in court. So while Priceline intends to be a valid contract, in reality, courts may not see it that way, especially if users weren't given prominent notice or asked to affirm their consent. Are visitors bound to it, or should they have to click I agree? Right now, users are considered bound simply by using the website, which is weak in terms of enforceability. The EFF explains that stronger agreements typically involve some form of click wrap or clear action like checking a box or clicking I agree. Without that step, it's much harder to prove that the user knowingly accepted the terms. So yes, visitors should have to click I agree, especially before making purchases or setting up accounts. If you have a dispute with Priceline, can you sue them? Why or why not? Section A of Priceline's terms of use makes it clear that disputes are subject to binding arbitration, and users waive their right to sue or join class actions. However, this only applies if the agreement is enforceable. Given the issues with browse wrap, no active consent, courts could find the arbitration clause invalid, meaning you could potentially sue Priceline in court. This has been seen in other cases where passive agreements were deemed unenforceable. What changes would I recommend? Here are a few changes I suggest to make Priceline terms of use more enforceable and user-friendly. Use click wrap instead of browse wrap. Require users to actively agree to the terms when signing up or booking travel. Make the terms more visible. Right now, they're buried in the footer. A pop-up or checkbox during transactions would increase clarity. Summarize key clauses, especially the arbitration and waiver of rights section. Most users won't read the whole thing, so quick summaries help with transparency. Confirm changes. If the terms are updated, ask users to agree again, not just assume passive acceptance. Final thoughts. Priceline's current terms of use are legally ambitious, but on shaky ground. Without clear notice and affirmative agreement, it's questionable whether the contract or its arbitration clause would stand in court. As the EFF notes, consent isn't real unless users actually know what they're agreeing to. And as Goldman puts it bluntly, stop saying we have click wrap when you don't. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for tuning in.